Most people crumble when insulted, letting words pierce their confidence like arrows. But what if you could transform that pain into power in just 20 minutes? Psychological research from Stanford shows 80% of people react emotionally to insults, losing control. If you've ever felt humiliated or powerless after a verbal jab, this changes everything. Ready to stop reacting and start winning? Let's unlock the secret to unshakable confidence. You've been there. Someone throws a sharp insult, maybe a coworker undermining your work, a friend mocking your choices, or even a stranger cutting you down in public. Your heart races, your face flushes, and you either lash out or shrink away, hating yourself for it later. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Most people feel this sting because society conditions us to take words personally, to let them define our worth. But here's the truth. While you're trying to be kind, respectful, or professional, others exploit this. They weaponize words to assert dominance, knowing most people will react emotionally and lose ground. It's not your fault. You've been taught to respond this way. From childhood, we're told to stand up for ourselves or not take it personally, but no one teaches how. The result? You're left feeling small, replaying the moment, wishing you'd handled it differently. This isn't just about hurt feelings, it's about power. Every time you react, you hand over control. But what if you could flip that dynamic? What if you could stay calm, confident, and in charge no matter what they say? You're about to learn a bulletproof system to do exactly that. Let's dive into the psychology that will change how you handle insults forever. Pattern. Interrupt. Ever wonder why some people seem immune to insults? They've cracked a code you're about to learn. Psychologists call it the emotional reactivity trap, a concept backed by decades of research, including studies from Dr. Albert Ellis, who pioneered rational emotive behavior therapy. When someone insults you, your brain's amygdala, the emotional center, lights up, triggering a fight or flight response. This is universal, hardwired into human behavior since our caveman days. Insults feel like threats, and most people react instinctively, either by attacking back or retreating in shame. But here's the game changer. You can rewire this response. This video will teach you a 3-level system to go from victim to victor. Recognition, protection, and mastery. Recognition. You'll understand why insults sting and how manipulators exploit this. You'll see their tactics before they land. Protection. You'll learn specific techniques to shield yourself emotionally and respond without losing control. Mastery. You'll flip the power dynamic, turning their words into your advantage, leaving them speechless. This isn't just theory. Studies like those from the Journal of Social Psychology 2019 show people who control their emotional responses to verbal attacks are perceived as 60% more confident and authoritative. You're not just learning to deal with insults, you're learning to dominate any verbal confrontation. Why does this matter? Because life is a battlefield of words. Whether it's a toxic boss, a passive-aggressive partner, or a social media troll, insults are everywhere. But once you master this system, you'll never feel powerless again. Let's break it down step by step. Pattern. Interrupt. What if the next insult you face becomes your greatest opportunity? Stick with me. This gets practical fast. Let's start by decoding why insults hurt so much. Psychologically, an insult is a direct attack on your identity, your intelligence, appearance, or worth. Dr. Robert Plutchik's research on emotions shows insults trigger a mix of anger, shame, and fear because they signal social rejection, something humans are wired to avoid. When someone says, "You're terrible at this," your brain hears, "You're not good enough to belong." That's why your pulse spikes and your mind scrambles for a comeback. Here's the kicker. Manipulators know this. They insult you to provoke a reaction because a reaction gives them control. Think about it. A coworker says, Your presentation was a mess in front of the team. You snap back defensively and suddenly you look unprofessional. Or you stay silent and they've asserted dominance. Either way, they win. Most people fall for this because they don't see the game being played. Let's look at a case study. Sarah, a marketing manager, faced constant jabs from a colleague, Mike. He'd say things like, "Wow, Sarah, another creative idea that's going nowhere." She'd either argue back, which made her look petty, or stay quiet, which made her feel weak. Why? Because she didn't recognize Mike's tactic, baiting her into emotional reactivity. Insults are designed to make you act impulsively, and 90% of people take the bait, according to a 2021 study in the Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin. Here's the aha moment. Insults only work if you let them define you. The moment you see them as a manipulator's tool, not a reflection of your worth, you start to break free. Recognize these patterns. The public jab. Insults delivered in front of others to maximize shame. E.g., "You always screw this up" at a meeting. The subtle dig. Passive-aggressive comments like, "I guess someone didn't get the memo," meant to undermine without confrontation. The purrs. Onal attack, targeting your insecurities like looks or skills to hit where it hurts most. Why do most people fall for this? Because we're conditioned to believe words carry truth. From schoolyard taunts to workplace criticism, we're taught to internalize feedback. But here's the secret. An insult is just someone's opinion, not a fact. Once you see this, you're ready for the next level. Pattern. Interrupt. Ever notice how the same insult can ruin your day but bounce off someone else? It's not luck. It's strategy. Let's learn it. Now that you recognize the game, let's build your shield. Protection means staying calm and in control, no matter what they throw at you. The goal isn't to ignore insults, that's impossible. It's to respond strategically, so you keep your power. Here are 3 bulletproof techniques with language scripts you can use immediately. Technique 1. The neutral reframe. When someone insults you, don't react emotionally. Instead, reframe their words as neutral feedback. This disarms their attack and keeps you composed. For example, insult. "Your report was sloppy." Old reaction. "It wasn't sloppy. I worked hard on it." New response. "Thanks for the feedback. Can you point out specific areas to improve?" This does 2 things. It shows you're unfazed, and it forces them to justify their insult. Most manipulators back off when pressed for specifics. A 2020 study from the Journal of Applied Psychology found that neutral responses reduce conflict escalation by 45%. The moment you do this, you'll feel the power shift. Technique 2. The deflection question. Turn their insult into a question that puts them on the spot. This shifts the focus from you to them. For example, insult. "You're so disorganized." Old reaction. "I'm not disorganized." New response. "What makes you say that? I'd love to hear your perspective." This is powerful because it forces them to explain themselves, often exposing their weak reasoning. It also buys you time to stay calm. Practice this script in low-stakes moments, like with a friend, so it feels natural when the stakes are high. Technique 3. The silent power pause. Sometimes the best response is no response, at least not immediately. Pause for 3 to 5 seconds, maintain eye contact, and let the silence speak. This shows unshakable confidence and makes the insulter squirm. For example, insult. "You're not cut out for this job." Old reaction, panic or defensiveness. New response, pause, look them in the eye, then say calmly, "Interesting perspective. I'll consider it." This technique, backed by research from the University of Amsterdam, 2018, signals dominance without saying a word. Silence is your secret weapon. Use it. Real-time recognition tips. Watch their tone. Is it sharp or smug? That's your cue they're trying to provoke. Notice your body. If your heart races, take a slow breath to reset. Spot the intent. Are they trying to embarrass you or gain control? Knowing this helps you stay one step ahead. The moment you use these techniques, you'll notice a difference. People will hesitate to insult you again because you're no longer an easy target. But we're not stopping here. Let's move to mastery, where you don't just protect yourself, you dominate. Pattern. Interrupt. Imagine the look on their face when their insult fails. That's what you're about to master. Mastery is about flipping the script entirely. You're not just deflecting insults, you're using them to establish psychological dominance. This is what separates the truly powerful from everyone else. Here are 3 advanced techniques to own any verbal confrontation. Technique 1. The power reframe. Instead of absorbing the insult, reframe it as a reflection of their weakness. This requires confidence and practice, but it's a game changer. For example, insult. You're so slow at this. Old reaction. Feeling incompetent. New response. Sounds like you're feeling impatient today. Everything okay? This subtly shifts the narrative, implying their insult stems from their own insecurity. It's rooted in psychological projection, a concept Freud explored. People often criticize others for traits they dislike in themselves. By pointing this out, you take control. Technique 2. The amplify and redirect. Take their insult, amplify it humorously, then redirect the conversation to your advantage. For example, insult. Your idea is ridiculous. Old reaction. Defending your idea. New response. Ha ha ha, ridiculous is my specialty. Speaking of ideas, here's one we should explore. This shows you're unfazed and keeps you in the driver's seat. Humor disarms and redirection keeps you focused on your goals. A 2022 study in the Journal of Personality found that humor in tense situations increases perceived charisma by 50%. Technique 3. The outcome frame. Always tie your response to a bigger goal, making their insult irrelevant. For example, insult. You're not leadership material. Old reaction. Feeling crushed. New response. Leadership's about results, not opinions. Let's focus on hitting our targets this quarter. This shows you're above their petty games and focused on what matters. It's a hallmark of high-status behavior, as noted in Robert Cialdini's work on influence. Why this works? Mastery comes from psychological positioning. You're no longer reacting, you're dictating the terms of the interaction. Most people never reach this level because they're stuck in emotional reactivity. But you're now in the top 1% who understand how to turn insults into opportunities. Pattern. Interrupt. What if every insult became a chance to showcase your strength? That's the power you're building. Let's make this real. Here are 3 scenarios showing old you versus new you responses, so you can apply this system today. Scenario 1. Workplace insult. Situation. Your boss says, "Your work is always half-baked," in a team meeting. Old you. "That's not true. I put in a lot of effort." Defensive, emotional. New you. Pause for 3 seconds, then say, "Thanks for the input. Can you clarify what you'd like to see improved?" Neutral reframe. Outcome. You stay professional, force your boss to be specific, and avoid looking rattled. Colleagues notice your confidence. Scenario 2. Relationship dig. Situation. Your partner says, "You're so bad at communicating" during an argument. Old. You. "I'm trying my best." Hurt, reactive. New. You. "Interesting take. What's one thing I could do to communicate better?" Deflection question. Outcome. You de-escalate the argument and shift focus to solutions. keeping the conversation productive. Scenario 3. Social jab. Situation. A friend says, "You're so awkward at parties," in front of others. Old. You. Laugh nervously or stay silent. Embarrassed. New you. Ha ha, awkward's my charm. By the way, have you tried the food here? Amplify and redirect. Outcome. You brush off the insult with humor and steer the conversation, earning respect from the group. These responses are immediately actionable. Practice them in the mirror or with a trusted friend. The next time someone insults you, you'll be ready to respond with confidence and control. Pattern. Interrupt. Picture this. The next time someone tries to cut you down, you walk away stronger. That's the transformation you're building. This knowledge is powerful. You now hold a psychological edge most people will never understand. But with great power comes great responsibility. Use these techniques to protect yourself and others, not to manipulate or harm. Insults are a tool of the weak. Don't stoop to their level. Instead, be the person who rises above, who turns verbal attacks into opportunities for growth. You're now part of a small percentage who sees the hidden game of human interactions. Most people react blindly, but you're different. You're strategic, composed, and unstoppable. This isn't about winning petty arguments. It's about protecting your peace and building unshakable confidence. Use this power ethically, and you'll not only transform your life, but inspire others to do the same. Pattern. Interrupt. You're not just learning skills. You're becoming a new kind of person. How will you use this power? You're not the same person who started this video. You've gone from reacting to insults with anger or shame to wielding a system that makes you untouchable. You now see the hidden game, how manipulators use words to control, and how you can flip that dynamic to your advantage. This is psychological empowerment at its finest. But this is just the beginning. In my next video, we'll dive deeper into mastering high-stakes conversations so you can dominate any interaction, not just insults. Subscribe and hit the bell to stay in the loop. Let me leave you with this. The greatest power isn't in silencing your critics. It's in making their words irrelevant. Go out there and own your power.